Potter Marsh, a happy accident. At the end of the 32,500-acre Anchorage Coastal Wildlife Refuge sits a good example of human alteration of the environment and nature's reclamation. Potter Marsh, 7 miles out of the city of Anchorage, is a quiet, restful place to view birds and wildlife. A land of life, inches from the new Seward Highway, yet peaceful and surprisingly quiet, with the views of the vast marsh and the Chugach Mountains in the background. Welcome to Hipfig's Travel Guide series for Anchorage, Alaska. This is the Potter Marsh Bird Sanctuary Travel Guide. In this video, we'll share our own experiences traveling in this bird and wildlife sanctuary and provide information that is helpful to the first-time traveler here. We began our day by driving south from Anchorage down to Beluga Point Lookout, just off of the new Seward Highway. Beluga Point Outlook has a 180-degree view of Turnagain Arm. We came down here hoping to catch a glimpse of the beluga whales, but we were too early in the summer. From Beluga Point Outlook, we headed back north to Potter Marsh. Potter Marsh is about 15 miles south of downtown Anchorage and easily accessible from the new Seward Highway. The main entrance is located a little past Rabbit Creek exit milepost 117.4 and across the street from the Rabbit Creek Rifle Range entrance. We could see Potter Marsh from the road and signs are clearly marked. Did you know that Potter Marsh was formed in 1917 when the Alaska Railroad embankment was constructed? These giant embankments closed off most of the inflow of Cook Inlet waters and the outflow of fresh water from the Rabbit Creek. The deep trenches created from the dirt extracted to fill the embankment were later filled with fresh water from the closed-off water sources, creating this current tidal habitat. Potter Marsh is a powerful example of nature's reclamation and reinvention with cooperation from humans. This 564-acre freshwater and brackish marsh covered with long, dense grasses is a wetland maze, a home for over 130 species of migratory and nesting birds. In spring and summer, it's not uncommon to see birds happily soaring and gliding above the watery marsh. Ducks in pecking order floating with their young, and elegant swans gliding in the fresh waters of Rabbit Creek. Potter Marsh is one of the most accessible wildlife viewing spots in Alaska. Before the main entrance of Potter Marsh, we stopped in a few small highway pullouts at the southern end of the marsh. There are unpaved parking lots in the south and 3 small gravel pullouts along the Seward Highway. From the pullouts, we could see trumpeter swans and Arctic terns, plus many species of ducks and geese nesting among the long grass or swimming peacefully in its calm ponds. There we also saw groups of dragonflies, which were iridescent blue, frolicking and mating along the edges of the water. There was so much to see even in the pullouts that it took us a while to leave, but once we did, we continued north on the new Seward Highway to the main entrance of Potter's Marsh. We could see the wooden boardwalk on the right as we drove to the beginning of the boardwalk at milepost 117.4, which is Rabbit Creek Road, also known as the Old Seward Highway. If you arrive early in the morning, there's also a primitive trail off the Rabbit Creek Highway, aka the Old Seward Highway in East Potter Marsh. It has a panoramic view and a chance to glimpse a pair of nesting bald eagles. Please be warned that parking is very limited for this trail. We followed the clearly posted Potter Marsh signs. We took a right on Rabbit Creek Road from the new Seward Highway Road and proceeded to the parking lot. There's ample parking and restrooms are also available here. At the beginning of the wooden boardwalk, there are posters which tell you about the Anchorage Coastal Refuge and Potter Marsh. You'll also find a whiteboard with information about wildlife sightings. By the way, there is no fee for this attraction. From the parking lot, Just a few steps in, you'll get into the 1,550-foot wooden boardwalk which winds around the marsh. Please make note that most of the boardwalk is exposed to the sun and there's very little cover. Please wear sunscreen, hat, bug spray, sunglasses, and bring bottled water and of course your camera and binoculars. We began walking the longest part of the boardwalk, which is along the new Seward Highway. There are plenty of opportunities to see hundreds of migrating birds, especially in April and May when the snow begins to melt. When we visited in the summer, we could see the hidden bird nests of ducks, geese, and swans with our binoculars, of course. We saw many gliding birds with their offspring through the network of ponds. And in August and September, you'll see pairs of mated black-billed swans feeding before their migration south for the winter. During this time of the year, it's also reported that you can also see schools of salmon along the deeper pools under the shadows of the boardwalk. Once we reached the end of this side of the boardwalk, we walked back the way we came and walked to the new east side boardwalk along the tree line, offering possible sightings of larger wildlife like bears and moose. If you're at Potter Marsh at the right time, usually early morning or late afternoon, you might see moose at the ends of the woods towards the mountains dining on their favorite leaves, or beavers building on pools near the brush, or you can catch a glimpse of black and brown bears passing through the marsh, though it's rare, and bald eagles which soar in search of prey, competing with terns and gulls for precious salmon. Reminder, please keep your distance from any wildlife for their safety and yours. The open hours for Potter Marsh Boardwalk is 24 hours, 7 days a week. Potter Marsh will take 2 or more hours depending on your interest and of course wildlife. With its free panoramic view of Turnagain Arm surrounded by spruce, cottonwoods, and alders, its easy accessibility and scenic wildlife viewing, Potter Marsh is a must-visit spot when in Anchorage, Alaska. If you like this travel guide and want to show your support, then subscribe and visit our Hipfig travel channel on YouTube for more videos like this. Happy travels!